Elon Musk and Peter Navarro have officially gone to war with each other. Not metaphorically, not behind closed doors, not even through leaks or anonymous sources. These two titans of MAGA dumbassery are brawling it out in public, on live TV and on social media, over the one thing that neither of them understands: the economy. And this isn't just some petty squabble, it's a full-blown, ego-fueled meltdown between two of Donald Trump's top guys. One who sells swastikars and fires employees by meme, and the other one who went to jail for trying to overthrow democracy and still thinks that tariffs are sexy. Navarro, Trump's economic Rasputin, went on to CNBC and took shots at Elon Musk and his company.
When it comes to tariffs and trade, we all understand in the White House, and the American people understand, that Elon's a car manufacturer, but he's not a car manufacturer. He's a car assembler in many cases. If you go to his Texas plant, a good part of the engines that he gets, which in the EV case is the batteries, come from Japan and come from China. The electronics come from Taiwan. The tires come. What we want, and the difference is in our thinking and Elon's on this, is that we want the tires made in Akron. We want the transmissions made in Indianapolis. We want the engines made in Flint and Saginaw, and we want the cars manufactured here. It's like this business model where BMW and Mercedes come in to Spartanburg, South Carolina, and have us assemble German engines and Austrian transmissions. That doesn't work for America. It's bad for our economics. It's bad for our national security. We want them to come here. And with Elon, it's fine. He's a car man. He's a car person. That's what he does. And he wants the cheap foreign parts, and we understand that. But we want him home. We want him home
Peter,
for our national security and economic security, and everything's good with Elon.
In other words, Musk is cheating on America with every other country. So naturally, Musk fired back with the intellectual rigor of a Reddit rage quit, calling Navarro truly a moron and dismissing his entire argument as demonstrably false. He's dumber than a sack of bricks. Peter Retardo.
Yikes.
This isn't policy, it's professional wrestling with fewer brain cells. And when asked about Musk calling Navarro truly a moron and dumber than a sack of bricks, this is what Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt had to say. Whatever. We are the most transparent administration in history expressing our disagreements in public.
Sure, Jan.
Considering the fact that you illegally deported a bunch of Venezuelans who 75% of them had not committed a crime and then tried to hide it, really goes against the whole transparent administration part. And then she was asked about their fighting in a press conference.
Quick follow-up. There's been some public sparring between Elon Musk and the president's trade advisor, Peter Navarro, on some of these tariffs. Musk actually referred to Navarro today as being, quote, dumber than a sack of bricks. Are you at all, or is the administration, the president, all concerned that this is maybe impacting the public's understanding of these tariffs? It might be messing with the message on it?
No, look, these are obviously two individuals who have very different views on trade and on tariffs. Boys will be boys, and we will let their public sparring continue. And you guys should all be very grateful that we have the most transparent administration in history. And I think it also speaks to the president's willingness to hear from all sides, that he has people at the highest levels of this government in this White House who have very diverse opinions on very diverse issues, but the president takes all opinions in mind, and then he makes the best decision based on the best interests of the American public.
Translation? Trump gives zero and more importantly, it means one very real possibility. Donald Trump might be using this feud as political cover to finally push Elon out of the White House, just like his cabinet already wants. Because behind the scenes, Trump's inner circle has been desperately looking for an off-ramp from the experiment that is Elon Musk. Trump and Elon's Doge plan has turned into a PR tire fire. Agencies are bleeding staff, services are collapsing, and Elon's ketamine-fueled governance hasn't just crashed systems, it's activated nationwide protests, including the hands-off demonstrations where federal workers and voters alike have taken to the streets demanding that Elon be removed from the government entirely. Not to mention, he cost MAGA the Supreme Court election in Wisconsin. A failure so bad that it didn't just piss off Trump donors, it's humiliated his inner circle. And now, plenty of people in MAGAville are looking for a way to kick Elon to the curb. Because again, at this point, Elon Musk isn't an asset, he's a liability. So while Musk and Navarro flame each other online, the global economy is crumbling under Trump's new tariffs and markets are tanking. Their fight in the economic collapse was kicked off when Trump rolled out his new economic plan, something he calls Liberation Day, which, fun fact, I guess, is the exact opposite of what it's doing to our wallets. Trump's tariff bomb hit everything from foreign cars and electronics to raw materials, triggering the biggest one-day drop in the stock market since COVID began. And in case anyone forgot, Donald Trump was the president then too. The S&P 500, down. NASDAQ, down. New York Stock Exchange, down. Dow Jones, face-planted harder than Rudy Giuliani at Four Seasons Total Landscaping. This is not liberation, this is economic arson. And it really makes you wonder, who's actually benefiting from Trump's disaster? Because every time that Trump drops a grenade like this into the market, someone in his orbit has to be shorting stocks.
Suspicious.
So in response to Navarro's attack, Musk does what Musk does. He tweets through it, much like Donald Trump. Except one of them is high on ketamine and the other one is on the shitter. So in a series of posts on Twitter, Musk mocked Navarro's Harvard credentials with a yup in response to this Thomas Sowell quote. In every disaster throughout American history, there always seems to be a man from Harvard in the middle of it. And then also wrote cryptically, results in the ego/brains greater than one problem. Actually, you know what? Let's see if we can get Elon to explain what the hell that means.
That you do.
Sorry, wrong clip.
But how can you, if
Regardless of what Elon was attempting to say, he's pissed. Musk then posted on Twitter, he ain't built shit, before quietly deleting it, which might have something to do with his little off-the-record meeting with Trump where he was reportedly begging him to back off these idiotic anti-growth tariffs. As reported in the Washington Post, over the weekend as Elon Musk launched into a barrage of social media posts criticizing one of the lead White House advisors for President Trump's aggressive tariff plan, Musk was going over that official's head and making personal appeals to Trump. The attempted intervention, confirmed by two people familiar with the matter who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss private talks, has not brought success so far. Trump threatened Monday to add new 50% tariffs on imports from China to go along with the 34% taxes he announced last week. The president did signal he was open to negotiations on some aspects of his policy. Musk, meanwhile, posted a video to Twitter in which the late conservative economist Milton Friedman touted the benefits of international trade cooperation.
What brought them together and induced them to cooperate to make this pencil? There was no commissar sending out orders from some central office. It was a magic of the price system, the impersonal operation of prices that brought them together and got them to cooperate to make this pencil so that you could have it for a trifling sum. That is why the operation of the free market is so essential, not only to promote productive efficiency, but even more, to foster harmony and peace among the peoples of the world.
Musk also spoke about the tariffs at an event hosted by Italy's right-wing deputy prime minister.
I hope that I hope that the United States and Europe can establish a very close partnership. We obviously are, there's an alliance already, but I'm hopeful that there can be a very close relationship with America and Europe. And I'm hopeful, for example, with the tariffs, that at the end of the day, I hope it is agreed that both Europe and the United States should move, ideally, in my view, to a zero tariff situation, effectively creating a free trade zone between Europe and North America. That would be that's what I hope occurs. And also more freedom of people to move between Europe and North America, if they wish. If they wish to work in Europe or wish to work in America, they should be allowed to do so, in my view. So that has certainly been my advice to the president.
Now, I believe that was a failed attempt at Elon Musk to force Donald Trump's hand in the tariff negotiations. Musk continued his Twitter rant with, by any definition whatsoever, Tesla is the most vertically integrated auto manufacturer in America with the highest percentage of US content.
Wrong.
Alright, here are the facts. Tesla vehicles are assembled in the US, but they're sourced from multiple different countries, with key components like batteries from China and Japan, electronics from South Korea, and aluminum from South Africa. Musk then went on to say that Navarro should ask the fake expert he invented, Ron Vera. I can't believe that I'm about to say this, but Elon Musk is right about Peter Navarro.
Where did Peter Navarro get his idea that tariffs would be a good policy for America? What was his backup for that conviction? Well, he did have backup from a real expert who he cited in at least a half dozen of his books, including the one that Jared found on Amazon that fateful day. In all of his books, Peter Navarro has cited an economics expert to justify his views. And the economics expert he cites is somebody named Ron Vera, V-A-R-A, Ron Vera. When Trump won the presidency and entered the White House, this Ron Vera started circulating a memo around Washington in support of Trump using tariffs in trade policy. According to the New York Times, the memo had been, quote, sent from an email address purportedly belonging to Ron Vera. At one point, Ron Vera wrote in the memo that Trump could, quote, ride the tariffs to victory. Problem is, Ron Vera doesn't exist. He never has. The economics expert that Peter Navarro has long cited to explain why he's so gung-ho on tariffs, this person, Ron Vera, is a made-up person. He is a fictional person. Peter Navarro invented Ron Vera as his expert source so he could quote this expert source over and over and over again in his crackpot books. Who is Ron Vera? Ron Vera is an anagram of Navarro, which is his last name. I mean, my name anagrams to Macho Waddler, but I don't see myself trying to talk you into doing what Macho Waddler wants, right? But that really is how the Trump administration crafted its tariff policy. That's where Trump came up with the tariff idea. Circulating a fake memo from a fake person with a fake email address in order to make it look like this was a serious issue being debated by real experts. That is the intellectual basis on which Donald Trump today wiped $6 trillion of wealth out of existence and crashed America's markets and brought America and the world to the brink of a self-inflicted, on-purpose, global Great Depression along the lines of what we had in 2008 and what the pandemic inflicted upon us in 2020. This time, the global disaster is Donald Trump's big brain.
Navarro also made sure to get some shots in on Musk as well.
Elon, look, Elon, when he's in his Doge lane, is great. But we understand what's going on here. We just have to understand. Elon sells cars, and he's in Texas assembling cars that have big parts of that car from Mexico, China. The batteries come from Japan or China. The electronics come from Taiwan. And he's simply protecting his own interests, as any business person would do. We're more concerned about Detroit building Cadillacs with American engines.
And look, I hate to agree with Peter Navarro on this one, but Elon Musk is nothing more than a car salesman. But the dumbest thing that Peter Navarro could have done throughout this whole thing was go on Fox News and guarantee the American people that there will be no recession.
Sure. The first rule, particularly for the smaller investors out there, you can't lose money unless you sell.
You sure about that?
And right now, the smart strategy is not to panic, just stay in, because we are going to have the biggest boom in the stock market we've ever seen under the Trump policies. We will find a bottom in this market quickly. We will hit 50,000 on the Dow easily by the end of this term, and I have credibility on this.
When do you think the market might turn around?
It's finding a bottom now. It's finding a bottom now, but look, here's the thing. It's going to shift over, and it's going to be companies in the S&P 500 who are the first to produce here. Those are the ones going to lead the recovery. And it's going to happen. Dow 50,000, I guarantee that. And I guarantee no recession, okay? Why? Because when we pass the biggest, broadest tax cut in history within a matter of months, that's going to be a great stimulus. There's not going to be any inflation.
No one in Trump's administration has any clue what's going on. But this isn't just about two weird guys yelling at each other online or on TV. This is a full-blown identity crisis inside Trump's second term, and none of them know what the they're doing. On one side, Elon Musk, unelected, unconfirmed, but somehow overseeing vast swaths of US federal agencies under Doge. A guy that was supposed to be giving recommendations, not firing NIH researchers and nuclear experts by email. And on the other side, Peter Navarro, Trump's trade czar, spiritual heir to 1930s protectionist disasters, and walking proof that not all Harvard degrees are created equal. These two are tearing each other apart in public, and the only winner is the chaos. What Was That is fully independent and runs entirely on your support. There's no team, no corporate backing, just me cutting through the noise and calling out the bullshit. So if you value my work and want to keep this show going, please become a paid subscriber today at whatwasthat.show. You'll get exclusive episodes, deep dive breakdowns, and articles that you won't find anywhere else. That's whatwasthat.show. Prefer to listen while you're on the go? What Was That is available on all major podcast platforms. Apple, Spotify, you name it. Until next time, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?